Austin McBroom is spiraling right now, and honestly, it's getting uncomfortable to watch. The man is clearly going through it, and everyone's connecting the dots to Catherine's upcoming wedding. His girlfriend Alexa has apparently had enough of his obsession with his ex, and frankly, can we blame her? Let's break down this messy situation because Austin just cannot seem to let Catherine go, even though she's moved on completely. Catherine announced her engagement to Igor, sharing this beautiful love story about how they met at the same waterfall in Brazil where he had taken a photo 2 years earlier. She called it fate, talked about doing long distance for 8 months, and how her kids fell in love with Igor too. It's actually really sweet. She seems genuinely happy. But here's where Austin comes in and ruins everything. Instead of just being a normal co-parent and staying quiet, Austin decides to go live and react to Catherine's engagement announcement. Already weird, right? Like, why are you publicly commenting on your ex's engagement when you have a current girlfriend? But it gets worse. He starts off trying to play it cool, saying he's happy for them, that he knew about the engagement before everyone else because apparently he always knows first. But then he drops this bombshell comment about how the marriage needed to happen sooner than later because he's obviously not from here, basically implying Igor is marrying Catherine for citizenship. The audacity! This man who cheated on Catherine throughout their relationship is now questioning the authenticity of her new relationship. The internet immediately called him out, and rightfully so. Catherine was so offended that she uninvited him from the wedding entirely. What makes this even more infuriating is Austin's track record. This is a known cheater who didn't prioritize his family when he had them. He was out there finding other women while Catherine was home with their kids. So for him to now question the timeline of Catherine's new relationship, the nerve! Austin even had the audacity to act surprised about Catherine sharing that she and Igor started dating in 2023, making little comments like, interesting and time out, this is her first time addressing the year. Like, sir, what timeline are you questioning here? You were the one who messed up your marriage. The worst part is that, according to Catherine's timeline, she was already with Igor when Austin was doing his whole dramatic RV stunt, parking outside her house and pretending to be heartbroken for Snapchat content. So while he was using her name for clout and fake sympathy, she had already moved on with someone who actually treats her right. After getting uninvited from the wedding, Austin pretty much disappeared from streaming. Then he comes back online looking like an absolute mess, talking about crying in the gym steam room and having a rough week. He's dealing with being a little sad, a little mad, a little angry, his words, not mine. And here's where it gets really telling. During this same time frame, people started speculating that his girlfriend Alexa had enough and broke up with him. There were subtle signs during his streams, someone handing him something and him getting weird about it, making comments that suggested relationship trouble. Fans were putting two and two together, thinking Alexa finally realized she was dating someone who was still clearly hung up on his ex-wife. And honestly, who could blame her for walking away? Before we get to the breakup confirmation, let's talk about another red flag that shows Austin's inability to move on. This man was calling his new girlfriend Alexa the same pet name he used to call Catherine. And when he caught himself doing it on stream, he had this whole dramatic moment about putting that nickname in the garbage and never saying it again. Like, imagine being Alexa and realizing your boyfriend is so stuck on his ex that he's literally calling you by her pet name. That has to hurt. It's giving "you're just a placeholder" energy, and no woman deserves that. This incident really highlighted how Austin hasn't emotionally moved on from Catherine at all. He's just going through the motions of having a new relationship while still being completely preoccupied with his ex. And sure enough, fans were right. Austin confirmed that he and Alexa broke up. Of course, he tried to make it sound mutual and mature, talking about how they're going down different paths and how she's young with things she wants to accomplish. He was quick to deny cheating, probably because that's his usual MO, but honestly, he didn't need to cheat to mess this up. His emotional unavailability and obsession with Catherine was probably enough to drive Alexa away. He talked about learning to balance his kids and a relationship, but the real issue isn't his kids, it's his inability to let go of Catherine. A healthy co-parenting relationship doesn't involve public commentary on your ex's love life, questioning their new partner's motives, or using their happiness as content for your streams. This whole situation is actually really sad when you think about it. Austin had a family with Catherine. He messed it up through his own actions, and now he can't handle seeing her genuinely happy with someone else. Instead of focusing on being the best father he can be and building a healthy relationship with Alexa, he was stuck in the past. Catherine has clearly moved on. She's found love again, her kids love Igor, and she's planning a wedding. Meanwhile, Austin is alone, having pushed away a woman who seemed to genuinely care about him because he couldn't get over his ex. The lesson here is simple: you can't build a future while you're still living in the past. Austin's obsession with Catherine not only cost him his marriage, but now it's cost him his new relationship too. At some point, he needs to take responsibility for his patterns and actually work on himself instead of making his personal drama everyone else's problem. This is why we don't do public breakups and messy co-parenting on social media, people. It never ends well for anyone involved.